Come on up for a second.
You gotta make an entire speech.
Do you have your stick? So,
As you now know, the ancient Greeks enjoyed many of the same things we...
the reason we do that is because you want people to learn to get along. And as you guys go into 8th grade, we'll study the Civil War and all these different elite system wars.
Oh yeah, I heard about the superintendent. What? I mean, I heard about it. The new superintendent.
You're basically 337.
You want us to log out of that photo now?
Did you guys all put your comments up?
Yeah.
It's called Sunny.
What's it called? Okay, here's a little report Larry put together for PowerPoint. It's got, you only have 4 minutes, but. So finish up your comments while he begins this.
So the end.
I think 3:21. That's when Alec heard. Yeah, just
That's
put
what
Alec.
I got taken over.
I think Alexander the Great. Oh, here.
Just go to slideshow and then press play from the beginning.
From the beginning. Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Vernon Oldham III. Here, let's give him some volume. Let's give him a little technology. Not technologo, technology. Okay. Okay. Get it, Larry.
On the day, March 7, 1965, African Americans marched all the way from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery, Alabama to ask the governor of Alabama, George Wallace, to help him.
Christian, what are you doing? Come on, Christian. I'm sorry, Larry. It's extremely rude. You don't need to have that. Yeah, thank you. Okay, go ahead.
To help the African Americans get the right to vote. And he was racist, so he called the soldiers to his side and to brutally beat the African Americans. That was their march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. It was a 4-day walk, and led by a civil rights activist named Martin Luther King and other civil rights activists like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. They marched for 4 days so they can change federal laws so African American citizens have the right to vote. They marched all. This is a picture of George Wallace, and he was racist because he would not help African Americans vote. He just was flat down racist. Wow. And that's a picture of two of the African Americans that were being beat. He was racist, and the soldiers went to his side using tear gas, sticks, bats, guns, muskets, sticks, anything that they could use, dogs, anything to really beat the African Americans. 19 were killed and about 500 were injured. And Martin Luther King was thrown into jail with most of all of the injured and 19 kills of what we happened to them. Jim Crow laws separated whites from blacks. This is called segregation, where it was white from colored, where African Americans couldn't go in the same waiting room, restroom, water fountain, weight room, gym, anything as a white man. Wow, that's terrible. Even if there was the smartest black African Americans like Martin Luther King, they would still not allow them to help them because, as you see on the sign, it says help wanted white only. so they wouldn't even let them have the help, and it could make their business go flying off the roof as the best business in the South. But still, blacks weren't allowed to help wanted white only.
Well, that's terrible. I like this.
Yeah. So, all I want to say is that about the struggle of civil rights is that we should not take for granted what opportunities we can do with African Americans back today. Back in the segregated days, 1940s, 50s, 60s, African Americans couldn't even drink at the same fountain. So as a school, they would separate. It was called the Brown versus the Board of Education. Back before that happened, that whites had way better desks and books in schools, lunches, drinking fountains, everything. While blacks, African Americans had to share less books and deal with what they had, and they had drink. And so when the Brown versus the Board of Education Act was on, it still had drinking fountain white from colored. So if it says the nearest drinking fountain, let's say you're walking down the street back then and the nearest drinking fountain is right there and it only says white only. The the African Americans drinking fountain is like 5 miles away. If you were caught doing this, you would go to jail.
So let's say we're African Americans, and then in that time, and then we drink at a white only drinking fountain. That would be a federal offense, and we go to jail, right? Oh, that's terrible.
Would Latinos be considered black? I mean, like color.
Not necessarily. Well, they weren't actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
They
Latino,
even
but I
have
don't
separate schools for
I think they're just scared that they people wouldn't have enough.
Actually, they're just mean.
And white, they're just some.
Like Michael Jackson.
Wow. Oh, you got a little song for you.
Yeah.
Give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. He just did that as part of African American History Month. Good job. Thank you, Larry. Did you guys notice that it was information